Now, from the Columbia Basin, your local news source, this is iFIBER 1 News, presented in high definition. The #1 source for real-time local news, local sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. With your iFIBER 1 News team, reporting news in real time as it's happening. From the iFIBER Communications HD broadcast studio in Ephrata, Washington, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Welcome to iFIBER 1 News. I'm Cody Johnson with news from around the Columbia Basin for Monday, December 10th. Tonight we report on the prison sentence delivered to a man convicted of kidnapping and raping a Big Bend Community College student. We also take a look at the holiday parade in Ephrata and the upcoming Grant County budget for 2013. We also report on a fire in an apartment in Royal City. In sports, we check on the Chiefs, the Tigers, and the victorious Seattle Seahawks. Our spotlight story tonight is on the 9th annual Winterfest Juried Art Show in Soap Lake. And we have the latest weather forecast for the Columbia Basin from the iFIBER 1 Weather Center. And our top story tonight, a man that kidnapped a woman from Big Bend Community College last year and raped her was sentenced in Grant County Superior Court. Here with the story is Ryan Lancaster.
34-year-old Gerald Thomas was sentenced to 28 years to life on Thursday in Grant County Superior Court. Thomas was accused of forcing a 19-year-old woman into her car at knife point in a campus parking lot at Big Bend Community College last July. He then tried to steal money with her ATM card before driving her to the sand dunes near Moses Lake and raping her. Thomas was previously convicted on charges of kidnapping, rape, robbery, assault, and witness intimidation. When Superior Court Judge Evan Spurline asked if Thomas wanted to address the court, the defendant alluded to his past drug use and said he was, quote, very, very sorry I hurt someone. It's bad, unquote. Detective Dan Dale spoke on behalf of the Washington State Patrol, saying the brutality of the attack astonished everyone who worked the case. The victim's mother also spoke about the attack, asking the court to impose the maximum sentence for Thomas.
I asked the court today to take into consideration that my daughter, who's never even gotten a speeding ticket, was given a life sentence without having committed a crime.
The victim herself also spoke up, saying she had chosen to be with one person for the rest of her life, a choice Thomas had taken away from her. She told the court the attack had shaken her faith and said she no longer believes there is a God. She also called Thomas a subhuman and said, quote, I was strong before this, but now I will forever be ruthless, unquote. Grant County Prosecutor D. Angus Lee said he hopes the stiff sentence imposed on Thomas gives at least some comfort to the victim and her family. Upon completion of his 28 years in prison, the defendant will be examined by an indeterminate sentence review board. If he's deemed not to be ready for release, he will serve additional time. If Thomas is ever released from prison, he will be under the supervision of the Department of Corrections for life. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Ryan Lancaster reporting.
Thanks, Ryan. We can get back into the holiday spirit with this next story. Dozens of people readied their floats in the Ephrata High School parking lot before heading out on a parade route through town on Saturday. Ephrata's Miracle on Main Street Christmas Festival was a big hit. The lighted parade began at 5 p.m., followed by the lighting of the Christmas tree at the Sun Basin Plaza. Earlier in the day, there was a fun run and lots of activities for kids. For a longer look behind the scenes of the parade setup, you can visit us online at iFIBER1.com. The Grant County Board of Commissioners unanimously adopted the 2013 budget and capital expenditures. The budget has an ending fund balance of $918,000 from 2012 and includes a total general fund of $35.9 million for next year. Sizable capital projects for 2013 include $250,000 in improvements to the Moses Lake District Court office and an $80,000 remodel of the Community Development Building. Some departments and budgets will see notable funding changes in 2013. The Emergency Management Expense Fund will be reduced by 55% to $639,000, while the Emergency Communications Service Expense Fund is increased by 88% to $4 million. Parks and Trails funding will increase by 121% to $288,000, while domestic violence victims services funding is decreased by 37% to $1.2 million. For a look at the Commissioner's entire 2013 budget, you can go online and visit us at iFIBER1.com. A stovetop fire got out of hand in Royal City Friday, spreading into the attic of an apartment complex. Grant County Fire District 10 officials say the original fire broke out Friday afternoon at an apartment unit in the 300 block of West Acacia Street in Royal City. The residents didn't report the fire as they managed to contain it quickly. But at about 8:30 p.m., the fire reignited in the stovetop vent, spreading into the attic before fire crews got it under control by pulling down portions of the ceiling. Most of the damage was limited to the single apartment unit. A group of students from a couple of different schools put on an entertainment event to help showcase their skills. Here with the report is Robert Ryder.
Last Saturday, Charglow School of Beauty put on their Christmas show at Moses Lake High School Theater. Charglow is a full-service beauty school, including waxing, facials, hair, manicures, and pedicures. They have served Moses Lake for over 30 years now. The Dream Girls, a group of students and teachers from the beauty school, sang Silent Night. The theater was packed with spectators varying in age from the community. The hairstylists from Charglow School of Beauty made up a range of men, women, and children. Moses Lake High School student Nathan Schertz sang Winter Wonderland. And at the end of the show, Santa also gave out treats for all the stylists. This is Robert Ryder with iFIBER1 News reporting.
Thanks, Robert. 2 Democrats in the Washington State Senate are abandoning their caucus and will now work with Republicans to control the chamber. Senator Rodney Tom of Bellevue and Senator Tim Sheldon of Potlatch have decided to caucus with the GOP. The new coalition will control the Senate, pushing conservative budgeting. Republicans will chair 6 committees, including the panel that controls the state budget. Democrats will control another 6 committees, while the parties will co-chair 3 others. Northwest Grain Terminal owners say they have no plans to lock out workers, even though they got no response to their final contract offer by the Saturday deadline. Terminal owners said in a statement they believe bargaining with the Longshoresmen Union is at an impasse, but have agreed to attend meetings with a federal mediator next week and will approach them with an open mind. International Longshore and Warehouse Union spokesman Jennifer Sargent said workers will return to the negotiating table with meetings scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday. Northwest terminals handle a quarter of all U.S. grain exports. Police are investigating 2 unrelated homicides in Spokane. The spokesman review reports both happened Friday in the West Central neighborhood. In the first killing, 28-year-old David Brandon DuPont was found in an alley. Police have not named a suspect in that case. In the second case, police are looking for 38-year-old Tony Callahan in the death of a woman he had been dating. Her body was found in her home. Callahan may be driving the woman's car, a light green 2000 Dodge Stratus with Washington license plate 474WRH. The State Department of Corrections is looking for more people with arrest warrants. Each of the people you see here have warrants for their arrest and are wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the DOC asks that you not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m. We'll be right back after these messages with the latest from the iFIBER1 Weather Center.